Excuse me, what do you know about credit scores?
Not very much. Also, who said that?
I did. Do you know what a good credit score is?
12?
No.
100.
No?
4 out of 5.
No. Allow me to explain. A credit score.
So then now that I've piqued your curiosity, I'm going to stop it right there. So my team creates animated videos and other content that credit unions from all over North America use to teach young adults about important financial topics. And to connect with this elusive Gen Y demographic group, we use storytelling and humor to translate what could be seen as a pretty dull and boring topic. Now, this may seem like child's play, but honestly, it is not. Young people today are racking up a lot of debt, and they're dabbling in some pretty risky financial behaviors simply because they haven't been taught otherwise. In fact, 34% of Gen Y have used a payday lender in the last 5 years. And of those that have used a payday lender, more than 50% have used them more than 3 times. That $500 loan, you miss a payment or two, and all of a sudden you're racking up thousands in interest and fees. So in fact, 52% of Gen Y have engaged in one or more personal, potentially expensive credit card behaviors as well. We're breeding an environment where spending money that we do not have is the new normal. So this leads me to my big idea. I truly believe that every young adult should be financially literate and be able to make smart financial decisions. This is not the case right now. Engaging overconfident, overstimulated young adults in financial education has become my passion and my mission. So how bad are things? Well, let's take a look. Recently, more than 5,500 people took a simple financial capability quiz, and I want you guys to take the quiz as well. 5 questions. Keep track of your answers in your head, and then we'll compare notes after the fact. So question 1. I feel like I'm Alex Trebek. Suppose you had $100 in savings account, and the interest rate was 2% per year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow? A, more than $102, B, exactly $102, C, less than $102. For all questions, there's also an I don't know. Got your answer? Correct answer is A, more than $102. Seeing a lot of nodding, good. Question 2, imagine the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year and inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year, how much would you be able to buy with the money in this account? A, more than today, B, exactly the same, or C, less than today. Correct answer is C, less than today. Question 3, buying a single company's stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. A, true, or B, false? Or C, don't know. Correct answer is B, false. They're getting progressively harder. A 15-year mortgage typically requires higher monthly payments than a 30-year mortgage, but the total interest paid over the life of the loan will be less. A, true, or B, false? A, true is the correct answer. And the last question, this is the only test you will probably receive today. If interest rates rise, what will typically happen to bond prices? A, they will rise, B, they will fall, C, they will stay the same, or there's no relationship between interest rates and bond prices. Or E, don't know. Correct answer is B. So, give me your honest answers. How'd you do? How many got all 5 correct? Quite a few. 4? Pretty much everybody. 3? Less than 3? I appreciate your honesty. Well, how did you do in comparison to Gen Y? Remember that 5,500 people I was talking about? Well, only 24% got the first 3 answers correct. And only 8% got all 5 questions correct. Now, that's not the killer, though. What that is 70% of Gen Y rated themselves as having high financial knowledge before taking this quiz. Right? So we have a crisis of overconfidence and undercapability. How do you teach something to somebody who doesn't think they need to learn? So who should be teaching young people about money? Is it the parents' responsibility? Absolutely. In fact, 75% of teenagers say that their parents are their most important source of financial information. And yet most parents do not feel comfortable having these conversations. So what about teachers? Well, that makes sense. I mean, teachers make total sense. There's no consistent government mandate. There's no consistent curriculum. There's certainly no funding for it. And teachers probably haven't been trained for the most part in teaching financial education. And just like parents, they say they're not prepared to teach financial concepts. What about tech startups? That's a little left field, but there are dozens and dozens of companies looking to disrupt the banking industry. These firms are redoing mobile banking and online this and investment that, but quite frankly, very little money is being invested in financial education because very little money is to be made, and that's what drives startups. Plus, anything to do with the screen and young kids, try to drag them away from YouTube and games to tune into some boring financial content. Good luck. So that kind of leaves the traditional banking establishment. Well, banks have deep pockets, and it's in their best interest to have capable and educated customers. But, I've got a lot of buts in this talk, it's a little dangerous to think that these firms will teach without bias. Ideally, we want our kids to learn without being marketed to. There are good things going on. The largest bank in the United States has an initiative called BetterMoneyHabits.com in conjunction with the Khan Academy. And it's a combination of videos and explainer graphics, infographics, games, and a really fun environment to learn. But here's the big deal about the banking industry, especially post-financial crisis. Only 8% of Gen Y currently trust banks. So not only did they not think they need to know this stuff, they're certainly not going to talk to these money-grubbing monsters that they've created, right? So what's the best solution to teach young people about money? Really, it's all of the above. It's parents, it's teachers, it's governments, it's new startups, and it's the banking industry. But there's another under-the-radar type of institution that I think is ideally positioned to do this, and it's credit unions. Credit unions are cooperative, locally owned institutions. They're not driven by shareholder dividends. They have experts that are willing to get out in the community and volunteer their time at schools and beyond. And Consumer Reports ranks credit unions as the highest trust level in the financial services space. Plus, between Canada and the United States, there are 100 million credit union members. So you have this huge captive audience. Show of hands, who's a credit union member? Right, I mean, pretty much the whole audience. Yay, credit unions. And as far as customer satisfaction, or in their case, members, it's, again, the highest in the financial industry. So this leads me back to my journey. Like I mentioned, my team creates animated videos and other content that young adults learn from. And we partner with credit unions. We invite young people to come alongside our main character, Jen, on her journey to learn everything there is to know about money. And currently we're working with credit unions from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way to Miami, Florida, and we're based in Chilliwack, so it's pretty neat to see this go far and wide. And credit unions have a need for our content, for the classroom, for social media, for their websites, and for their branch. It really has turned into a perfect partnership. We use animation because it allows us to take very complex topics and boil them down to simplicity. Here's a portion of a video that will get across what I'm talking about.
Buy low, sell high.
Ideally, but it doesn't always work out that way. Stocks are volatile, meaning they're a risky form of investment. Millions and millions of shares are traded each day, and stock values are constantly changing due to market forces, supply and demand. Even rumors and predictions about a company's earnings can affect the value of its shares.
Do you have, like, a more predictable way for me to become the richest gen on Earth?
Let's talk about bonds. Companies and governments will issue bonds as a way to raise funds.
After we wrote the script, though, I felt that tacos are the new pizza, really. Every month we tackle a new topic, everything from identity theft to credit scores to investment vehicles to leasing versus buying. And the topic list we've generated is endless. It's really phenomenal. And our team writes, researches, directs, animates, illustrates, and really take a full kind of Hollywood production to these little vignette videos. And the really cool thing is we've recently had the approach validated by the Filene Research Institute. They're a global consumer finance think tank based in Madison, Wisconsin, and they've had 10 credit unions in Canada and the United States pilot our program for the last year. And not only was there business results from increased young members and engagement, what I'm really thrilled about is how it resonated with young people. Here's one question on, we surveyed more than 350 young people across the United States and Canada in surveys and focus groups, and 98% say this should be in the classroom, why do I not have this? And they loved the videos. So that was the point. We're trying to sneak in this entertainment and then somehow get this education across. And again, more than 350 people, and this is the average rating of these. So I'm going to end by showing you this I've introduced you to our credit squirrel, and I teased that. Now I'm going to play the full video so you get a laugh, but maybe you'll learn something as well.
Excuse me, what do you know about credit scores?
Not very much. Also, who said that?
I did. Do you know what a good credit score is?
12?
No.
100.
No.
4 out of 5.
No. Allow me to explain. A credit score is a 3-digit number that's calculated by credit bureaus and gives banks, credit unions, and landlords an idea how likely you are to pay your loan or rent on time. Most scores are between 350 and 800. Anything above 720 is considered prime.
Prime.
Excellent.
Ah.
Having a low score means you could be turned down for a loan. And if you're somewhere in the middle,
You still get the loan?
sometimes, but you'll have to pay more interest. And that's not good because it costs you more in the long run.
So, what goes into a credit score, Credit Squirrel?
I'm glad you asked. Each credit bureau has its own calculation, but it basically goes like this. 35% is based on payment history. If you make payments on time, it's good. 30% is based on capacity. This shows how much of your available credit is being used. If you're close to maxing out the credit limit on your credit cards or other lines of credit, it's not good, even if you've been making regular payments on time. 15% is based on length of credit. The longer you've been using credit, the clearer the snapshot of your credit habits. This is your credit history. 10% is based on new credit. If you open lots of credit cards or loans in a short amount of time, you look risky. Lastly, another 10% is based on the types of credit you use. This is your mix of credit cards, including retail store cards, bank and credit union cards, plus student and auto loans and mortgages. And that, my friend, is the breakdown of a credit score.
Thanks, Credit Squirrel. That was very helpful.
Do you have any more questions for me?
Yes. How do you know all this, and also how come you can talk? Thanks, Credit Squirrel.
So engaging overconfident, overstimulated young adults in financial education has become my passion and my mission. I truly believe that every young adult should be financially literate and be able to make smart financial decisions. Just imagine a world where everyone growing up actually has full control. Thank you.